created as the instrument to bring about the Battle of Armageddon and the fulfillment of prophecies, where nuclear weapons will be used so that the American citizens and the other people in the world will get down on their knees and beg for no more war. They're going to be told the only way we can guarantee no more war is if we destroy the sovereignty of nations and we come together as one humanity and one world government. And I'm telling you, unless the American people wake up and stop it, the Battle of Armageddon will become reality.
That we're going to experience what we've never imagined.
War is just a shot away, if we must reiterate that again. Good evening, everybody. I am the one, the only, Dean Ryan, and you are watching World at War, the #1 late night show in this world, right here at Real Deal Media University. I'm your head professor here tonight, and you know it's getting serious when I take the glasses off here tonight, so let's talk about it. Tonight's episode is a deadly game. Yes, a deadly and wicked game, and a title probably used before, I just can't remember, and I'm just at that point now, here in this game, in this industry, I'm going to just do whatever the hell I want now, because the gloves are off. That's right. Tonight's episode, we're going to be getting into just the gloves off kind of talk, the tough talk, the mano-a-mano, man-to-man talk, because Donald Trump was just threatened for reals, y'all, by a foreign country who has creeped their way into right here, the United States, and I'm talking about Israel. And I don't give a damn who that offends, because I'm not here to play patty cake. I'm not here to play footsies. I'm here to play war, because it was just brought to Donald Trump's war chest. And we're going to talk about just why that is, and I think you have a clue out there of why that is. And we knew the enemy all the time were the people, or I should say the country, you're not supposed to criticize. It's kind of like Jim Morrison said, his famous quote, those who you're not allowed to critique are those who are controlling. And yes, he's absolutely right. And that's why he never died in 1971. Different story. But anyways, we're going to be talking about the transactional unilateral actions that have been taken by Donald Trump, as I have felt for all this time, as unpopular as it was for me to say, to no matter what audience. Trump has been playing Netanyahu. He's been playing the Zionists, and it is a deadly game, and they're just realizing they got played. And oh yeah. So we'll talk about that, yes, also casually, We'll get into that, and, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Plus, we'll have more judges than, by the way, this is ramping up too. In addition, is judges are now being arrested. Yeah. Where have we seen this before? Can you hear the echoes of civil war? Yeah, habeas corpus is going to be suspended next. That's why Trump keeps talking about 2028. Don't you see the writings on the wall? Must I tell you? We can be blind and deaf as a bat, and you could just feel what's in our future as our destiny is coming to prophecy, as Mr. Bill Cooper said. So we'll get into that. We have the huge second half with the horrors of Diddy, as more and more is coming out, and day 2 of the trial of the, I shouldn't say the trial of the century, because I don't think we're as glued to it as OJ. That's a hard one to top. So getting into that, we have some Real Deal Health with Time Magazine now, and we'll dissect this one together as a class. Their main title of a spread on their next issue is The Race to Explain, quote, the race to explain why more young adults are getting cancer. We just don't know why. We don't know why. We're liberal and we don't understand why that is. Somebody hold me. Yeah, we'll talk about why that is, because the dumb S's haven't yet to figure it out what they put in their bodies. Don't worry, I'm here to diagnose them. We have some Real Deal religious segments coming up in the second half of Pope Leo. Yes, he's more than just a mouth of the South. He's now the Pope, and his message for Americans. Well, I'm at the edge of my seat as the Pontiff speaks, the worshippers of Dagon, the fish god, and amazing stories about some Real Deal pets that you're going to love, some Real Deal drugs, and Real Deal sports, as somebody has been reinstated, and it's not a comeback. It's just the right thing to do. We'll be talking about who that is in the second half, if we make it. And I'm going to open up the lines here tonight, and I may start doing that right away because I'm feeling really dangerous tonight. Edgy. You know how it is, edgy. Okay, so we are broadcasting live on Facebook. Yes, we are. Let me just get this out of the way, too. Let me tell you how Facebook screwed me. I just figured it out, kind of like Netanyahu's figuring it out, too. It's amazing how we have that in common. Is I no longer get monetized for live videos, hence why they delete live videos after 30 days. So, word out there, I'll be putting clips out, just so you can feel free to share if you choose to do so, and love to keep these broadcasts going. Or if you hate me, just don't do it. That's either or, because equal opportunists. So I just figured that out. YouTube, we're on YouTube, Dean Ryan TV, and we are also on Rumble. Also, the Real Deal Media website will be coming to an end, sad to say. I don't know what we'll do with the members just yet. I have to consult with my pastor, Mike Adams, about what the next step is. Let's face it, nobody goes to the website. No one really is doing anything. Nobody. Have you noticed? Nobody's going to retail shops. I walk around here in SoCal, the beautiful Orange County. My favorite bars, pubs, eateries that have been open since 1969 are closing. And, well, consider us one of them. We're closing as well. So we'll be shutting down our website, realdealmini.tv. That's coming to a sad end. And you'll be able to find me on the shitty platforms of Facebook, Rumble, and maybe YouTube if you're lucky. And it's just sad. And I'm thinking to myself, how that is. It's censorship, shadow banning, and it's been a good run. I mean, people can only watch a show for so many years, right? At some point, So that's the announcement I had to make last night, but I've tried to work it every which way. It's just the way it is, sadly. Moment of silence. Okay, so anyways, let's continue now with some headlines from around the world and in your neck of the woods, shall we? I think we should. Okay, let's get started here as we have some Real Deal headlines that are pressing. Well, this one is sort of a public service announcement out there, as this seems, oddly enough, this story, I can't believe this is happening still in this day and age, but it is multiple states, and it's being perpetrated by fathers. You're going to understand why here. Get this now, a California father has now been arrested after his 6-year-old son dies in a hot car. Yes. Okay, so this is a big deal, and but it's not just one isolated incident. No, it's not. So the 6-year-old boy has died after being left inside a vehicle amid record-breaking temperatures over there in Northern California. Yeah, authorities have confirmed the city is, it's about 200 miles up from the L.A. basin. The police said they were notified of the child's death shortly before 6 p.m. just this past weekend on Saturday. Detectives, his father, 27-year-old Bryant Reyes Estrada, had parked his vehicle in the lot of Paso Robles Inn for several hours before he brought the child to Twin Cities Hospital over there, where the boy was pronounced dead at the hospital. Now, I don't understand this. The temperature reached a high of 99 degrees Fahrenheit, Celsius. That would be 40. Yeah. Now, the father was arrested on suspicion of first-degree murder and willful harm or injury to a child likely to produce great bodily injury, according over there to the local reports. Now, the incident marks at least the third child to die in a hot car in the United States so far this year, according to Kids in Car Safety now. Now, just days ago, on May 7th, a father dropped his 1-year-old child off at school, but told police he forgot to drop his 2-year-old child off at the babysitter. And when he came back to his car, he said, "Oh, shit," and the baby was dead. And just back in March, just for another example, a 4-month-old baby died in Lakewood, New Jersey, after a similar accidental incident of being left in the car for a few hours when the father of the child forgot to drop the baby off at his babysitter's. Now, all three incidents highlight persistence of a deadly danger as we now approach the summer, and some of us are already in it, when you leave your child in the vehicle. I'm telling you, this is crazy. Now, the vast majority, because I didn't know this was an epidemic or slightly, nearly 9 in 10 of all of these children who are left in the cars are under the age of 3. So let me tell you, we need to, and yeah, another toddler dies being left in a hot car. Why is this being done by fathers? There's the question. Why is this being done solely by fathers? It seems to be. So if you are out there and you are shopping, just take a gander. If you see a car that has a toddler in it, a child, and you know it's damn well going to kill the kid and it's very hot now, break the window open. Do what you got to do. We got to save these kids that are purposely being left in these cars. I'm telling you, it's not sitting well with me. Now, as I'm telling you, record amounts of heat are coming. As now Texas, just to close off the weather forecast here, Texas energy demands to surge as temperatures are now surpassing 100 degrees. So here it is. In Texas, where we see all over again. As now Australia goes into their deadly winters that just came here, we're getting their deadly summers they just had. See how Australia and in the U.S., we're always getting each other sloppy seconds? I'm telling you, I'm tired of it. And just to purposely be all over the place, too, speaking of which, and I'll forget, there's something going on in New Zealand. I'm going to tell you about the Real Deal International, but they're having some major problems in New Zealand that will stem from this. Anyways, continuing. Well, here's another interesting story. Somebody brought this up the other day, and it crossed my desk here at the Real Deal Media newsroom. Stacks and stacks of stories about Elon Musk, very unknown, relatively unknown, yet very least talked about company, and it's his tunnel boring company. Well, the truth is he had a contract with L.A. He had a contract to make a tunnel boring Amtrak train from L.A. to Las Vegas. I've been hearing about this for like 20 years, yet nothing's happened. But now that maybe the case has changed. Well, Elon Musk's Boring Company is in talks now with government and the entire federal government over an Amtrak project. Yes, the Federal Railroad Administration, the FRA, has brought in tunnel boring companies, well, in this particular case, the one that belongs to Elon Musk, to see if it could help with the multi-billion-dollar rail project. Yes, this hopefully can put people to work. Well, the Federal Railroad Administration, the nation's top leading agency in that field, has brought in the boring company firm founded by Elon Musk to see if it could help with a multi-billion-dollar Amtrak project, according to 3 people familiar with the discussions. Yes, the FRA officials have talked with employees at the boring company about assessing the costs, and they're saying the development, the research for this project would cost $6 billion, but now it estimates it could cost as much as $8.5 billion. So the officials are getting ready to make one of what they're calling one of the biggest railroad system projects this country has seen since the inception of railroads. Of course, the naysayers out there are saying, well, this is a conflict of interest due to Elon Musk's role in the administration. But quite frankly, I'm past caring, and quite frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. Moving on now to other matters. Well, that's going to bring us to the big head honcho of the night. Let's get down to World War III talk, which is also a blend of real deal politics. Let's just get into it now. World War III. So let's talk about what is happening here. And then I'm going to open up the lines because this is a big one here. So you might have heard about some of the stories coming out now about Donald Trump's America First. He ran on that. A lot of people were holding him to that. He has delivered on a lot of that, but there's been one Achilles heel. There's been one elephant in the room, and that's Israel. Sadly, yes, and a lot of people don't have the cojones to even go there and talk about that, but a lot of people have grown those since it all has come out, and something is definitely fishy. Well, it all started back when Netanyahu, well, October 7th, obviously, but it all started back when Trump said he will be the first to get a 2-state solution. And Netanyahu said, I don't think so. I mean, yes, that's what I want, but on my terms. And when was that going to happen? But let me tell you about now. Trump's America First policy leaves Israel uneasy, as many people like Ben Shapiro are having conniption fits, and his panties are in a twist. Yes, I am. So Donald Trump, he's promised to be America's first president, carrying out the promise through a little more than his first 100 days. Now, recent weeks, U.S. came to an agreement with the Houthis to stop their tit-for-tat war that excluded any mention of the Houthi-Israeli war. The U.S. has restarted conversations with Iran about its nuclear program. And Trump is not stopping Israel during his first trip to the Middle East since his return to office. Well, many people who are familiar with the matter, they said, well, this is coming from State Department official Aaron David Miller, who said a pattern is forming here, which is rather striking. Some of us say charming. Well, he said, quote, I don't think any of the administrations I worked for, and I can't even think of one, that would have done over the last several months what this administration has done, but more importantly, would have done what they have just accomplished with Israel. Well, let me tell you what this really means. So in my research of this whole scenario last night, Israel and Iran have been playing this good guy, bad guy game since the 1970s for the peanut gallery, for their own people. They have demonized each country because that allows them to do the arms race, that allows them to erode civil liberties for their own citizens, but also to keep certain fractions of power in play in both of their federal governments. So no deal has ever been reached. Also, you see Iran being used as a proxy boogeyman by China and so forth. But this time is a little different. Trump did not go along with the plan to go to war with Iran, as I knew he wouldn't. He always bolsters something which exfoliates the bad actors abroad and within, domestically. Now, saying that, he told the Houthis, he made a deal with the Houthis that he said, look, don't fire upon U.S. warships. If Israel continues their pathway, that's up to you. You treat them however they want. Quite frankly, I don't care. It's not my problem. Unquote, paraphrasing. That has never been achieved by any American president. No American president has ever said that. Unilaterally went into negotiation talks without Benjamin Netanyahu. This is the guy, Netanyahu, who had his speech to the United States Congress over there, the State of the Union speech for Netanyahu last year, who talked about what if an American president was assassinated? What if this happened to Donald Trump? And what do you know? That's exactly what happened. And what do you know? The Ukrainian kill list just happens to kill anybody who just happens to critique the country of Israel, if we can even say that. Furthermore, let's go to this here. Blinded by the Trump, as we've been watching. Now, as this has been said, we know that Netanyahu has given $20 million to Qatar, who's an ally of the U.S., because they have an exclusive treaty and agreement with the United States to only pursue weaponry of war and purchase weaponry of war through us, as I explained last night. So all this demonization of Qatar is just a bunch of hogwash. Continuing. Also, Hamas has received the $20 million from Netanyahu through Qatar. Now, what Pam Bondi and little Marco, Mr. Bathhouse Marco, Mr. Ultra Hearing Marco, they're forbidding Tom Fitton from Judicial Watch. They're forbidding and not abiding by his Freedom of Information Act to show the public what Doge discovered through U.S. aid and all the disclosure and all of the audits, because you would see that the 4 to 5 million that we know of payments by USAID went to who? Hamas at the very top. Hamas was the pay-to-play top regiment levels of it to continue to be the dangerous neighbor, hence why they have to clear them out. Look at Gaza today. It's all rubble. It's all rubble. He had to go anyways. I'm sick of him. Yeah, there's no Gaza. There's nobody there. It's 20,000 of them dead or children. Just tons and tons of death. But we were told it was CGI. We were told, oh, well, there was a terrorist that went into a hospital where we told people to go to refuge, so therefore we had to blow up the hospital. Then we were told they won't release the hostages. Well, Trump changed that. And that's why you have the bad actresses out there, the Maria Abramovich lookalikes, a.k.a. Laura Loomer, who has been a shill since day one. Think about, you want to know what a shill is? Let's talk about all of these just Rumble all-stars that always get promoted. It came out of nowhere. They were activists, and all of a sudden they just get promoted and elevated just out of the blue. Like, how does this girl all of a sudden find herself sitting at the table in the White House? And now her cryptic message last night on last night's World at War was, I would take a bullet for Trump, but let's call a spade a spade. That's dangerous talk. Who does she think she's messing with here? Does she not think we see her? Does she not understand that the only official country to ever attack the United States on record is Israel in 1967? The USS Liberty? She think we're stupid? Yeah, she does. But we know who she is. All those people holding all the Epstein file folders, DC Drano, all these all-stars, shills. We knew it. Mossad shills. Look at her. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, kind of a glimpse. You might think it's LaToya Jackson with all that work done, but who am I? Moving on now. Here is the big one, this next one here. Look at this, and credit to Jimmy Dore. Thank you very much. Trump made a deal to get the hostages back because Netanyahu never wanted to, because he needed a reason to keep wagging the dog, which is the term to have a perpetual war to stay out of legal hot water, legal prosecution, which is coming his way. He needs a war, like Zelensky needs a war. And we saw this coming. The proctology of Israel's here. Well, what does this say, you might ask? Well, here it is. Well, after the information that from Jerusalem Times, a very popular paper there, that Trump is now planning to recognize the Palestinian state, two-state solution, Israeli foreign minister came out with a threat. Quote, unilateral recognition of Palestinian state will force, quote, unilateral actions in response. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a threat against the American president by the last country to officially attack us at the USS Liberty, which, by the way, there's still a gag order, and that whole thing is still sealed by the federal government. But that tells you right there, we know who the true enemy is of this country. We know who the true enemy is of the region. It's those Khazarian Ukrainians who set up tent and have been a proxy military base of the U.S., just like Hawaii, for all these years. Their day is here. We see the regime that has kept people at war. They're starving through famine, the people of Gaza, the indigenous. How does that make you feel? How does that make you feel? Tell me about it. Feel free to call us. Feel free to call in. Tell me where I got it right, if you feel. Here it goes. Feel free to join the convo. I'm going to be looking at comments because I'm doing whatever I want now. Nobody can stop me. Only me. Okay, here's another one here. Let's get this. Claudine said, young and stupid. Thank you. Thank you. At least you got the young part right. Too much cocaine. Yeah. Yeah. Did you see that last night? If you did or missed it, here it is. Oh, I can't get enough of that. Okay, feel free to join the convo if you like. We tried to put that on Facebook. They just blocked it, per usual. Try again. First you don't succeed, you get back up and try again. Okay, thank you very much. Feel free to do that at your leisure if you like. You can do it on Rumble as well. If you'd like to keep me company, I promise I bite. Feel free to do so. Let's hear some comments. I mean, how does this make you feel? That we have not only a threat, this comes days after, okay? Days after we have Mike Waltz, right? Who initially I thought, wasn't he the VP choice of what's-her-face? Anyways, committing treason by using a Signal app, the Israeli version of the Signal app, to relay information of private convos from the administration, relaying it to Benjamin Netanyahu. Think about that. Some girl says that is a packet of toot. I haven't heard that term in a long... I'm sorry. Toot. Yes, it is. Thank you. You broke me tonight. Thank you very much. Oh. Glenn Hall, thank you for being here tonight. Love your show, Dane Ryan. Facts drown the utter bullshit of the propagandists. Yes, it does. Facts hurt feelings, and feelings, they don't hurt anyone. They just make us think. We have Nigel Dyer that says sherbet dipping. Yeah, is that what it's called in England? Okay, thank you. Here we have Manx Cat that says they want to roll out the Nawhide laws. Is that a song? Whip 'em good, whip 'em good, whip 'em great, Nawhide. Is that what you're talking about? Great song. Thank you for sharing that, Manx Cat. Feel free to join the convo. We also have Dame Pan says hiding the spoon. We have Angelina Wolf. This is best breakdown day, no? What do you say? Weeby. Some girl says 1, 2, 3. She is the worst loomer, isn't she? But I'm afraid to say that because I'd love to have her on the show. Because I love to go like brain fencing with her, but someone named Dave Smith does that. Dave Smith is a brilliant libertarian. We have Dame Pam says, looks like Israel needs a new leader. Duh. Oh, God, yeah. For 20 years, this guy. I'm telling you. It's that bad. It's that bad. Here's another one here. Let me see. We also have, do you know about the fake Israeli names of all the prime ministers? You might have missed that. I'll show you here in a minute. Okay, here's another one here. I should just be DJ all night and just get everyone's comments. That's another pastime. Here we have Cindy Jankowicz Servatus saying, because BC Canada Save the Ostriches has got the verdict from the judge. Oh, that's great news. Thank you for sharing this. They were going to do a culling over there in Canada of all the ostriches. And they were going to kill all these babies. Thank you very much. All 400 ostriches will be disposed, sick or not. Okay, never mind. I was wrong. They're not saving the ostriches. I probably should read further. That's terrible. Canada, I mean, where's the militias in Canada? Where's the militias in Canada? Because you're going to be dealing with a hardcore communist government, if not from carnage, from all the other governors around. I'm telling you. Robin says, play that song, Toot Toot. Thank you for that. See what you started, some girl? We have a caller. We have Mr. Watland calling in. Hold tight there. And we have Helen Power says, good to see you, Dean Ryan. Love you. No, I love you more. I'll take your love and then top that and add one. Up you one. Okay. Not good news. Yeah, Michelle. Yeah, I realized that midway through what I was reading. And don't I feel silly? And we'll have a lot of Canadian news tomorrow night, too. And Manx Cat says, send the ostriches here to Minnesota. You know, Manx Cat, I'll tell you this. I have a special report I want to do, speaking of Minnesota. And maybe some of you out there can help me. And I think this would be so fruitful to our overall discussion of how did the Somalis get to Minnesota? And you almost have to ask, how did the Ukrainian Eastern European Jews get to Palestine? Because we see the same thing happen over and over. Like, how did the Chinese get to Toronto? And how did the Chinese get to San Francisco to create a Chinatown or get to Liverpool, England? And when you start researching these things, these groups who come with their own religions, everyone has their own, handy Bibles or Torahs or, Book of the Dead from Tibet, and claim such and such is theirs, their deity says it is. That's how all these wars start over time. But it would be interesting in the modern era to see how the Somalis got to Minnesota, who were the senators that allowed that to happen, to bring a desert climate oriented group of people from Africa and put them in the whitest, coldest Nordic part of the country, which damn well is going to create friction. What do we think is going to happen if we brought a bunch of Irish Protestants to Beijing? Next thing you know, we made them the protected class. Next thing you know, they want to legislate that rice should be illegal. It should be potatoes or nothing. What do we think is going to happen? Yeah, send the ostriches to Minnesota is my point. Okay. So, anyways, Manx Cat says they just showed up in force. That is a good question. I'm telling you, we have to go back to the late 80s, mid to late 80s. We have to find out who are the senators behind that operation. That's where it starts. And common basic history right now won't tell us. Just like, you know how hard it is to find any information on what the hell is happening in South America? And I don't mean Brazil. I mean like Paraguay, Uruguay, whatever happened to Ecuador. Remember in the beginning of the pandemic, all the bodies, all these dead bodies were just found in the trailers of 18-wheelers. I'm telling you. Didn't Obama do the Somali thing? Oh, well, that's a good question. We need to find out. Okay, so I'm going to bring in our first caller. Thank you for the comments here. And Rumble too. I haven't forgotten you. Yeah, it was bad news. Yeah, it's devastating. Lannister Moon says Dean should bring out a packet of Toot Toot as a... See, the Toot Toot is where... That's the Achilles heel of tonight's show, if you're just getting here. Let's toot our way to our caller here, all the way from Iowa. A man who has recovered from cancer, from being illegally locked down, and probably has a soft spot for ostriches and all kinds of things happening. Mr. Watland, welcome to World at War. Thank you for tooting your way here tonight. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good tonight. I had a cough earlier. I took some lemon drops, and that seemed to help it.
Well, you look like you lost a lot of weight. You lost a lot of weight there. It looks like. Is that from the chemo?
No, I think it's from my diet change, basically. But the chemo did not really make me sick or nauseated or in any way, and I maintained my appetite, to some extent. But I switched the sugar for natural sugar.
Oh, good. Raw sugar. I do the same thing.
Honey and maybe bananas or fruit. I just started doing the like keto, more protein, less carbs.
Well, let's talk here, Mr. Watland. You're in Iowa, and I want to ask you about Iowa, but did you want to comment on the veiled or not so veiled threat of a state official from Israel saying any unilateral recognition, basically saying if you recognize Palestine as a state, there's going to be unilateral actions. What the hell do you think that means? What are unilateral actions, Mr. Watland? Because what are they going to slaughter more? What does that mean? Because I have an idea.
I don't know exactly what that does mean. Is that a threat to us? We are. Some of us don't like what's going on over there with the genocide or whatever. And,
right.
And I don't like my senator running over there. Joni Ernst ran right over there like, I want to say it was soon after that, and met with BiBi's sidekick, who was a transplant out of Florida. I can't recall his name. My memory's not too sharp, but
interesting.
We had our governor resign, and there's just a lot of medical corruption. I can testify to that. I'm going to try to expose as much of that as I can while I'm still alive. I don't know how much I can get done, but they should not be able to.
Let me ask you this. Here's what I see happening. Unilateral action. I think they're going to try to take a pop at Trump and blame Iran. Everybody can see that coming from a mile away. You got to put it.
They
Look at it this
really
way,
give it a false flag. That's what they do. That's how they
right?
do their warfare is false flags. You betcha.
But look at it this way too. If Netanyahu can't get a war with Iran, that guy's looking at war crimes. That guy's looking at major prosecution. The entire country of Israel is now split. Now I see how Trump did it. Okay, now I see how Trump did it. I kind of saw it before. It wasn't very popular. Is he, just like he did with China and the trade deals, he out-China-China'd. He out-Zionist Netanyahu, meaning he stole the support and base of Netanyahu in Israel. Although American Jews don't like Trump because they're all liberal, that's separate. So he earned the trust and thought process of a lot of the Israelis. So therefore, he can undermine the Likud administration and Netanyahu like a true chess player. I see what's happening here. And, we hope. But you want to comment on that? Because we have another caller, Mr. Watland, kind of in a closing thought. You want to comment on my thought process there, my thesis?
Yeah, I mean, he obviously, has Jewish connections. His kids and he
Are you talking about Jared Kushner? Yeah, Jared Kushner.
Yeah, he obviously has some backing, I would think, somewhere, but
Jared Kushner is very unpopular in that family. I can tell you, the
very
brothers
gutsy,
don't like him.
Very gutsy, him coming out with this trip
huge.
to Saudi Arabia.
Are you kidding me?
Wow,
huge. Let me tell you this, and Mr. Watland, thank you for calling in. And real quick, Robin Skopinski wants to know, Mr. Watland, are you using ivermectin? You want to answer to that?
Yes, I've been using ivermectin since before I started chemo. And my chemo guy said, good, he was all in favor of it. And I continue to take it to this day. I take menbendazole, I believe it is.
Wow.
And I also take artemisinin. It's like a cell booster, and
well, that's wonderful.
That's about the extent of it. But this, they got me on this immunology drug that's supposed to act as a cancer police force and track down rogue cancer cells that want to travel.
Well, Mr. Wiley, you keep us updated on your journey, and you're taking on the corruption of Iowa, because Iowa, I'll tell you, Iowa is the most cancerous state in the union because that's a lot of the food comes there. All big agro is the next to fall after big pharma. You watch, big agro and big pharma are twins.
And they just they chemtrail geoengineer or whatever you want to call it. It's they're spreading poison in the air for us to breathe.
Okay. All right, so, Mr. Watland, we're going to go to another caller here. Thank you for calling in.
Well, thank you for
he's one of our
providing a good show. Good, it's always informative. I really compliment on your guts, and whatever endeavor you go into, I will support you 100%. And thanks, my friend.
Thank you so much. I'm gonna try to keep things going as much as I can, but you get censored, shadow banned, and saboteured so long, natural causes happen. But thank you, Mr. Watland. We'll speak soon.
My Google account, they did something to it. I can't get into it. They want me to do 2-factor authentication, and I never even signed up for it.
It happens. So, all right, Mr. Watland. Keep fighting the good fight. Thank you very much. Okay, we are still here. We have another caller. But so here's another thing too. We have a hard break coming up. I'm debating whether I even do one. But listen to this here. The first Obama deal he had with Iran, and why Trump kept saying it was bad, it's bad, it's bad. I found this all out, is because in this deal with Iran that Obama made, here's the key component. It excluded American businesses from doing business inside of Iran, but it opened up the rest of the world to doing business inside of Iran. Now, you're probably saying, God, that's terrible. You know, why would they do such a thing? But from the Iranian point of view, which is totally valid, they're saying, wait a minute, we don't want these so-called, oil tycoons, or as we see them on the news, backpackers, business guys coming into Iran who are really CIA guys, / Mossad guys who are going to try to do regime change. We don't want that. We don't trust because, yeah, we love Donald Trump, Iran is saying, but presidents come and go. We're worried about who the next guy is going to be. Do you see the problem here? So this new deal that Trump wanted the first time, Trump 1.0, was sidetracked by Pompeo and all the other Israeli first people in Trump 1.0. This time around, it's a different game. There's a new sheriff in town. And you're going to see the new Iranian deal that's already been inked out, I'm sure, and signed, come out. It's not going to be much different than the Obama deal that he had, except it's going to allow businesses, American businesses, to now come inside Iran. Israel is pissed right now. Can you imagine how pissed they are? Anyways, if you want to call in, we have another caller here. I'm going to put that person in. Feel free to do so. Feel free to join the convo. That's right. At your leisure here. Nigel Dyer says, Trump has said all along, America first. Wish we had someone with balls to stand in the gap for us here in the UK, but they're all pussycats. Hey, Nigel, I'm still a fan of UKIP. Don't count them out. Don't count out UKIP there. And let me look at Rumble real quick before we bring in. Here's another one. We have... Okay, Bill Gates bought farmland. Okay, that's true. BiBi is a snake, Rumble Mania says. Yeah, BiBi is a demonic snake. Okay, I'm going to bring in a caller, and we're going to talk about, if you're just joining us, the question is, in a very unprecedented episode here tonight, is how do you feel about having your American president literally just get threatened by Israel? The Israeli foreign minister came out with the threat, unilateral recognition of the Palestinian state will force, quote, unilateral actions. You know damn well what that means. They're going to try to take out the first American president we've had since JFK. And by who, you might ask? Fake Jews who've all been prime ministers using fake names. If you don't believe me, just watch.
And most of the prime ministers of Israel changed their name because they didn't sound Middle Eastern enough. You think I'm kidding? Let's watch a little bit of this.
I show you what I'm about to show you. Your mind will be blown. You're going to be blindsided. Every single Israeli prime minister has a fake name. Did you know that? I was just talking about Ben Gurion. You know what his original name is? Gruen. He changed it to make it sound more Jewish and sound more Middle Eastern. Do you know what Netanyahu's real name is? It's not Netanyahu, it's Milkovsky. I swear to God, go and look it up. You'll find Milkovsky. That's his real name. Remember what Israelis are. Israelis are European Jews. They don't come from Palestine, but they want you to make you believe. They want to make believe and make you believe that they come from this area, that they are indigenous to the land, that they're so Jewish, right? Even though they have no connection. So they changed the names. Here's another one. Moshe Sharat, his name is Chertok originally. You've got Levi Eshkol. Eshkol was Shklonik. So he changed it from Shklonik to Eshkol. Then you have Yigal Alon, his original name, Peikovitz. Golda Meir, Israel's first female prime minister, Her real name is not Golda Meir. It's Mabovich. Mabovich.
Gold in my ass.
More like mad bitch.
Yeah, pretty fascinating, isn't it? Okay, let's have Rebel Mama join us. Rebel Mama, all the way from Canada. What say you on this issue here? We have an American president who has just been threatened by the country of Israel. What are your thoughts on this matter?
Good evening, Dean. Good evening, everybody. Let's try a new hypothesis. Do you remember about probably 3-4 months ago, we had this discussion on one of your shows about how Trump was going to turn on Israel when the time was right and that he was playing along? Well, we're at the stage where he's turned just about every country against him. But what if the intelligence agencies have managed to display enough, I don't know what we want to call them, compromising weapons, shall we say, in front of a few Mossad agents and said, you're not working for him anymore. You're working for us. Think about it. The Epstein stuff is ready to explode. The Diddy stuff is ready to explode. They don't want any part of that. And we know BiBi's on that list. If there is.
That's interesting.
He's in the files.
Well, it's so interesting you say this because I see them holding these files back, the Diddy files, the Epstein files. I think they're really timing this around the midterm elections next year. And when they do, it's going to be carpet bombing, politically speaking, by the way, since I'm being watched.
I don't think so. I think he's going to use them a lot quicker than that. I think he already has. Because
I think they're using it. I think they're using it for leverage in the
absolutely.
right now. Yes, leverage is a huge player.
It's also going to be the same playbook with a certain prime minister who was recently selected in a cold red and white country.
Yes, I 100% agree. That's the entire role of Mark Carnage. He is owned. His blackmail is owned.
But it's not so much. He might have played in the nasty stuff, but you got to remember that Mr. Epstein was more into the financial fraud, the tax evasion, and that sort of thing. And that's what Carney has really been lambasted for, is his financial holdings and his tax evasion in Bermuda and other islands. And if Mr. Epstein was the person that did it all, it would explain why Carney's wife and sister-in-law are in his black book 10 times.
Interesting. Wow, that makes my head hurt. Thank you. Marnie, I want to hold you over. We have to take this quick break.
Sure.
I want to hold you, and I want to expand on that too. And also, I want to expand on the role of the Ukrainian tutors. Because if you just logically think, like, who's taking the film of that? It seems staged to me, kind of like the Hunter Biden videos. Was it Zelensky was the camera? It couldn't have been CBS because it was like a, cell phone camera. But anyways, I want to talk about that, but I want to hone in on the Israeli factor too, and also a huge development today with India and Saudi Arabia that's going to change the whole financial landscape going forward. So hold your hat there, Rebel Mama here. Okay. You're watching a unprecedented, incredible episode of World at War here on such a beautiful day here in Southern California, Orange County. Just beautiful. It's hard to be so hateful. Although I'm not. Anyways, we're going to be back after this quick message, a little bit more of your comments, and some other stories that should make you feel a whole lot better about life in the second half here tonight. Don't go anywhere. Hold your hats. We'll be back after this quick message.
He sits down as he waits for his guests. His coffee does not help the time pass. Disappointment sets in. If he only had real deal coffee to indulge in, when its chocolate-covered almonds and maple syrup citrus finish, roasted right here in the US of A, life would only be that much better. Real deal coffee. Because indulgence is just a cup away.
Welcome back. Welcome back, everybody, to Real Deal Media's #1 late night show, World at War. I'm still your head tutor here tonight, Dean Ryan. We're tooting our way to the finish line with all of you around the world here as we have learned a whole lot of things from a whole lot of nothing people as we are uncovering and really dead set, hell-bent focused on the very, very not so veiled threat by Israel to Donald Trump of unilateral actions will be taken as a consequence for his unilateral peace talks with the greater region of the Middle East. What a concept. What a concept from a bunch of Babylonian whores who were a bunch of, anyways. We are going to continue with our caller, Rebel Mama, but here's some incredible comments on Rumble, if I might add. We have a record amount of people watching here tonight. We have yes, Aussie Girl says Mark Carney's wife is friends with Mizelle Maxwell. I'm assuming that's the sister of Gizelle. Thank you. We also have the real General Mahdi. Dean said Loomer looks like LaToya Jackson. She does. Yes, she does. Or, just to be fair, LaToya Jackson looks like Laura Loomer. Okay? Just for equal opportunity here. But yes, you're right. And finally, we also have, yes, where is it? Buck's comment here. Let me put this back up here. Yeah, Trump backed Carnage, Mark Carney, because he's controllable. He's got his, there it is. That's why Trump preferred Carney. He's controllable. Buck, you can attest to it like anybody. You want to talk about what politics truly, really, honestly is? House of Cards with Kevin Spacey is probably one of the best television series I've ever seen that really mirrors politics, how it truly happens. Politics is about bribery, power, control, and blackmail. The ethics and the philosophy is for the peanut gallery, not to say that there's not, honest, statesmen trying to do the right thing. I think Thomas Massey and people over time, Ron Paul, have gone down that pathway, as you should. But when it comes to the real power brokers in the DC Beltway, that's what it's all about. Okay, so let's bring back Rebel Mama, who, here is the quote, if you're just getting here. Yeah, unilateral recognition Palestinian. Let's finish up here. Okay, Marnie, let's finish your thoughts here, because a huge power play, speaking of power plays, Saudi Arabia just made a huge deal with India, okay? India, another nuke power, to trade oil with India, not in U.S. dollars, but in other foreign currency. So the dinar, you name it, that is
cuts
huge.
off
That's
Iran's
underway.
nose. Oh, my goodness.
This is huge, everybody. This is huge.
It certainly is. This is another blow to China because, wow.
Arnie, this is so huge, my nose is beginning to itch. I mean, I'll tell you, I don't even know what to say. That is huge. It also cuts off the deep state. That's what the big pharma bill does. It cuts the deep state, big agro's necks. And, the American Jews and Israelis should be happy that a colonic and a Roto-Rooter is coming towards their government and their power brokers in that religion too. And all religions have had to go through this, and I'm predicting Mormons are going to be next year, but that's neither here nor there. Go ahead, finish your thought there, Marnie.
Well, I'm thinking, who else besides the U.S. has been backing Israel openly and, sending things and being there to help them? Nobody. It's only been the U.S.
I tell you, I could count them on one hand, but I still can't. It's just us. I suspect that the money that they're getting the money that has been used to subsidize Israel, I truly believe has been coming from the post office. And we know Social Security has been used for war. So I think that's how they've been money laundering things, is through the post office. Go ahead.
Yeah. But if you think about it, I mean, if he has made BiBi think he's on his side for a long time, and then all of a sudden, just like you said, and I said, and a few other people, he's going to turn on him when he's at his weakest. And now he's at his weakest. He's got all the stuff coming out that could, I mean, any one of these stories could bring BiBi down. He's already got the the International Criminal Court after him. His own people have been after him for 7, 8 years. And if he has turned the intelligence agencies around and said, you know what, you're on our team now. When BiBi calls for help, nod your head yes and don't move. That's all it's going to take. Because they don't need Israel anymore. If they're tight with Saudi and UAE and Qatar and India, the whole point of Israel since the end of the war has been to keep peace in the Middle East on the U.S.'s behalf and look after their interests. Well, BiBi violated the trust. He got too big for his proverbial britches, and Trump came in and said, you're done. That's all we're looking at. It's a power shift.
I also want to say this too, because there's a lot of mention and chatter about this. If Trump gets this deal done for the Palestinians, he's going to give Palestine back to the Palestinians. We're talking Nobel Peace Prize here, the true Nobel Peace Prize, not the one that stupid Barry long-legged Mac Daddy Sotero got. No, we're talking real-time, real Nobel Peace Prize. This is historical, Marnie.
Oh, massive. Absolutely massive. But he set him up. It was brilliantly done, like 5D chess, which is Trump's game, let's face it.
Yes, it is. So, Marnie,
maybe he is on the up and up.
I think we are going to see what Trump's term and definition of gold age truly is, and it goes beyond wealth. It means peace. We need peace in the Middle East, to be the cliche. And when we open the floodgates to peace, we open the floodgates to tourism, culture, and to truly see what history is all about. I mean, hasn't anybody out there thought, God, I would love to go to Mesopotamia or the Persia, Syria? This is a lot of history that has been just bloodshed and covered with war our entire lives.
Yes.
It's about damn time we stop the wars. Final thoughts, Marnie.
Well, there's some beautiful places there too. It would open up a whole new thing for tourism. No question about that. As long as they put in all inclusives, because I'm not doing piecemeal trips. Forget it.
You know, as anyone, a Mediterranean cruise without the war is just. I mean, look. Syria used to be the Argentina of the Middle East, and so was Iraq for so long. So it's about damn time. But thank you for calling in, Marty.
Well, thank you for having me on, and you try to stay in that seat as long as possible. We need to.
Well, yes, I will. I'll make sure I sit in my booster seat. Thank you very much. All right, there you have it. We have. Oh, well, I think she said some. If you want to call in while I'm still here, just a little longer here tonight, feel free to do so. Yes, feel free to do so. Jim could not be here tonight. He will make up for it very soon. Join the convo. I want to show you this. I want to show you this video here. I had some other stories that I'm now probably going to share with you tomorrow or the next night. I think I'm too into this subject right now, like the rest of you here. But look at this here. We were talking about chills. We were talking about the Latoya Loomer. Now let's talk about Ben Shapiro Netanyahu, the mistress of BiBi. Look at this clip now. You want to talk about how legit the meltdowns are of now the so-called fake right, the neocons, the neo-Zionists? Look at this following clip. Ben Shapiro, who has always been an advocate for the Iraq War, has always been an advocate to invade Iran, has always been an advocate to go hard and get rid of all the Arabs over there in Syria, just like Netanyahu. Netanyahu, before we went into the Iraq War, sat there in front of the UN Security Council, in front of our own Congress, saying how the Iraq War would be a great thing. We'd be seen as liberators. So, Netanyahu for almost 30 years now says jump, and American presidents say, how high? Right now, jump? It's not going to happen this time. He got played. He got played so bad that you almost want to feel sorry for him, but I just don't have the empathy for that. My empathy tank is on zero. And so it is for Mr. Painted Eyebrows, too. Look at this guy here. The mistress of Netanyahu, Benjamin Shapiro. Here it is.
To do is basically settle all outstanding business with the United States so as to then create separation between the United States and Israel in Iran negotiations. That is what is happening with the Houthis as well. It is not a coincidence that as the Houthis are basically forswearing attacks on American shipping, and the United States is saying that the United States is no longer going to worry about the Houthis, essentially. That Hamas is now trying to do the same by releasing the sole living American hostage in the Gaza Strip, trying to basically say that the United States now has no part in that conflict. Well, okay, fine. I mean, if the United States has no part in that conflict, then Israel should just go and do what they need to do. That seems to me a proper solution with regard to the Gaza Strip.
Do you see how mad it?
Thank you, Glenn Greenwald. Good journalist. That guy is so, he's not even weird. He's demonic. He's like one of the children of the corn. Shapiro is, his stock has fallen so hard. I can't even begin to tell you. Let me go to Rumble here. Nobody like Keith Sweat. You mean Keith Olbermann or Keith Sweat? Keith Sweat's the R&B singer. Where the hell did that come from? Okay, anyways. Notable says, Saudi prince just bought a huge penthouse downtown Vancouver. Yeah. Prince of Dubai, sorry, she says. Thank you, Notable. Thank you. Feel free to call in, too, at your leisure. Shapiro Shapiro talk about Mossad. God. Yeah, talk about Mossad. He's such a suck ass. He probably can't even make it through Mossad basic training. His eyebrows melt too fast. Rebel Mammoth says Shapiro sounds like he's been riding the train with Keir and friends. Oh, no, he speeds up his shows, okay? This is what Stu Peters used to do. They tape the show, then when they repost it, they speed it up so they talk like this, and he's reading a teleprompter. I have a friend of mine that used to be his massage therapist, poor thing, for him, Shapiro and his wife. Yeah, he's a puny little thing. Yeah, I hope somebody sits on him. Okay, let's see who's calling in here. We have a gentleman from an undisclosed location who is part of the Virgin Olive Oil lobbyist firm. He's here to call us to tell us how to make eggs. The one, the only, and back from the dead, Ranger Buck. Ranger Buck, how are you doing? Oh, we can't hear you. Let's try that again. Let me know when you're ready. We'll get that ready there. We have Manx Cat that says Shapiro's on the spectrum. Yeah. He's also on the rectum, too. We have Robin Skopinski says that's why people in government who have dual citizenship with Israel need to be removed. That's coming next. God, that's going to be a great day. And by the way, can anybody tell me is there going to be a coronation of the king or anything of that nature? Please tell me if you're in England, because we would love to cover that, like the Rose Parade, if possible. Okay, Samantha Dubai says Saudi Prince is the Sandman, as in the operation. His deals will end fiat and SWIFT, I believe. Well, now we know who Metallica was talking about. Do you think the UK royal family have any sovereignty left? I do. I think publicly, yes. Nigel, I think that's the key factor of giving Canada the colonic, and Australia is going to be through the crown, controlled by Trump in the background. I think so. Okay, Buck, you ready? Okay. I can read lips. I think I know what you said. All right. Buck, thank you for joining us here on this very, very late Tuesday evening. What are your thoughts? Well, Dean, I have no thoughts. I don't have time for this. BiBi, he die now. He no choice. Okay, well, that's interesting you say that, Buck. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. We don't know what happened, but you could see Buck starring in the new Big Trouble in Little China, Part 2, coming out soon. Thank you very much. All right, we have Some Girls 123 is saying that is true about dual citizenship, and that was done in Russia, and that's why they hate him. Blinky, Blinkbin, Newland, Min. Okay, wow. I'm intoxicated after reading that. Thank you. We don't know what happened there. Okay, so we are almost out of time here. Tonight went off the rails, Zelensky style, didn't it? Okay, let me go back here. Deborah DeMoss, hello, Dean Ryan, family, friends, and Real Deal Media. Yes, let me just say, Real Deal Media is not ending. It's the website that's coming to a close. It's plus the web host is based in Israel, so I think they're shadow banning me too. That's a long story. We're in a day and age when I started this, I was kind of one of I should say Jim and myself, we're kind of the trailblazers. And then after the lockdown, everybody became a podcaster, or they think they are. And it's a very saturated industry. But, nobody really goes to websites. And, when you're paying more to do something, anyways, I don't want to bore you with that. Buck, why don't we try one more time? What do you think? Well, Buck, if you agree with me, just nod your head. That's just as good. Yeah. I like you better this way. Anyways, here's another one Ranger Buck says Russia supported Assad to prevent Saudis from building their pipeline in Europe. Russia had 80% of the European oil and natural gas market. Buck, are you sure about that? Can that be true? Explain yourself. Or forever hold your peace. We have Glenn Hall says, piss off Ben Shapiro, by the way. Why do you need to be looking Italian while being His Highness? Because looking Italian, it gets you protection in the mob, they say. There you have that one. Okay, Buck, we don't know what happened. Netanyahu cut your vocal cords out. We'll try again on another occasion, sadly. Okay. Yes. Sorry, it goes toot toot. Then beep beep. It goes toot toot. Hey, beep beep. Yes, it does. Gwyneth Davis says, hi again from New Zealand. The Commonwealth non-functioning Five Eyes Jacinda Ardern needs to pay for... yeah. I have a story about New Zealand. I'm going to try to hold it for tomorrow night, but they have a huge population problem, which is weird because when I was in New Zealand in 2015 shooting a film about Bitcoin, they were having a population issue 10 years ago. Can you believe it? And now it's even accelerated. Buck, don't you agree on that?
Yeah. Can you hear me this time?
You know what? Don't scare me that way. Quick, Buck. We have just a little bit of time left, but what you want to weigh in on some of your thoughts on what you heard here tonight, whether it's Netanyahu to India and Saudi Arabia making a huge deal right underway.
It's all got a lot to do with pipelines, especially to Europe. Europe is the second largest consumer of natural gas and oil. And Syria has been the blockade for Saudis importing or exporting to Europe and undercutting Russia. Russia has controlled European oil market for decades now, and 80% of the market was controlled by Russia. So this Ukraine is the same issue. Syria is the same issue, and it's all to get that cheaper oil from Saudi Arabia to European markets. And Israel has surprisingly prevented them too, because Israel is like the middle man in the oil transactions, and they have been operating that way for years, and they've been making money off of the cheap oil, and that was what Iraq was all about, was the cheaper oil, because it only costs $10. It costs $10 for Texas crude to produce 1 barrel of Texas crude, whereas in Saudi Arabia and Iraq, it costs $1 to produce a barrel of crude, because it's closer to the surface. You don't have to drill as far. And that when we took Iraq was the second largest proven oil reserves in the world. In northern Iraq, there were 200 billion barrels of oil there as estimated reserves, and in southern Iraq, they didn't know they didn't know what they were unproven reserves in southern Iraq, and we've been benefiting off of that for years. But and the middleman in the pharmaceutical industry has been Israel, so it's all related. Everything that Trump has taken down is the financing and the middlemen of these industries that have been stealing from Americans for years, ever since into World War II.
Buck, and yes, all the fake names. Yeah, Victoria Nuland. Yeah, I knew that was. Yeah,
and it all goes back to Rothschilds. Rothschilds and the dynasty families, the financial world bankers.
Buck, help me figure this out. I was thinking about this earlier today. It just spurred a thought. Pharmaceutical is Latin. It's like a wizardry, esoteric term. I know you know what I'm talking about. What
sorcery,
is that term again?
Yeah. Pharmakia,
like and everything.
Pharmakia, which is sorcery, witchcraft, and that's why you have the snake and the wrapped up. Yeah, it's all related. All this is related.
Thank you. That's why, just like that Canadian rapper whose name is Drake, which is short for Dracul, which is a demon, the devil, just to be esoteric prowess here. Real quick here, before we go, I really want to touch upon the finances here. Is we really made the case and point about blackmail and how politics and geopolitics works. But let's talk Turkey here. Not the country, but let me rephrase it. Let's talk finance here. We have Saudi Arabia and India now making deals to trade without the dollar. This is what got Saddam killed. This is what got Gaddafi killed. But however, this time around, Modi in India, who's a friend of the U.S., friend of Trump, and Saudi Arabia as well. This goes against the Kissinger deal made in 1972. What is this going to mean for the average taxpayer now in America who are waking up to saying, what, we're subsidizing Israel? Hell no. But what does this mean to them? Because they're learning this too. How's this going to affect America in your view going forward?
India is the planned new manufacturer to take over China, because we can't rely on China anymore to manufacture our goods. And so we're going to help India become that dominant force like China has been ever since the Clinton. Well, I guess that goes back to Richard Nixon when they first started that. But then, Clinton really advanced it with Walmart and the Chinese goods and moving all our manufacturing, and then NAFTA and the trade agreements pretty much shut down American manufacturing, took it overseas to China, and China has been the most favored trade nation for years and a developing country, and they've benefited and stole trillions of dollars. Not to mention they printed our dollars. I remember back when we had military operations, we would stop some of the containers coming off the boats from China, and they would be full of dollars that they printed. So they've dumped dollars, they've dumped cheap products, they destroyed every industry that we had one by one to destroy America, and they're still doing it. And that COVID was all a part of that. Of course, that goes back to Israel too, because Netanyahu agreed with China and signed agreements with China 6 months before COVID outbreak. And
that's right.
He wanted to be the number one secured country in the world, and it was all a security because technically the mRNA stuff is all about mind control and being able to make you into an antenna.
We lost him. Okay, Buck, we seem to have lost you there. Okay, your feed went haywire. Let's try you again. Okay, you want to finish that thought there?
Well, that's the thought That's the thought that got me banned from Facebook. So we might not want to talk about that.
Okay, I'm gonna. In fact, stay back. I'm gonna say goodbye to you after this here. I'm gonna talk to you. Okay, stand by there, Buck. I am disintegrating here tonight, and I'm getting attacked as well. Okay, well, that's going to bring us to a final thought here. I'm just going to bum rush this right now as we end tonight's deadly game. As you can plainly see, it's a deadly game just to talk about this. Ranger Buck, friend of the show, was actually zapped off the entire existence of social media for some of the stuff you're hearing here tonight. Just when he thought it was shadow banning and censorship. Well, guess again. Goes back to what good old Jim Morrison says, when you start talking about things, about who truly controls you, and they tell you can't talk about it, well, there's your answer. But then again, if freedom is the answer, what's the question? And I think the question is crush them. Crush them, those who get in our way. And we are figuring out the true puppeteers in a very not so fashionable way, but a very, very much anticipated way. That is the truth on that. And Frankie, I think the term pharmakia is Greek, is often linked to sorcery in biblical context. Thank you so much. I've been looking for that answer all day. Yes, there it is. And that's what it is. We are fighting. We're not fighting Jews, we're not fighting Catholics. We are fighting demon satanic worshipers who've infiltrated governments and religions at the highest form. That's all I can say. So I'm going to get out of here. For Buck and for the rest of us here at Real Deal Media's #1 late night show, World at War, I'm Dean Ryan. I'll see everybody tomorrow night. Thanks for sharing a bit of your night. And always remember to stay tuned and stay awake. And I'm going to try to stay.
I live my street, I'm a guillotine. Put it away in my machine. Where have you been? I love you. Shooting stars in my left arm, I'm an alcohol low. Giving away time to Casio. The sun is slow. I still love you. Is this where I'm going to?